shall we do some quickish round of check-ins and then get started? I'll start. Well, my intentions are to have an awesome sprint planning session and to take a look at our roadmap, to review our roadmap, and to think about what we want to accomplish for the next 2 weeks, to plan it and then just to deliver it. I have no distractions at all, so I'm good. And I'll pass to Olivia.
Yeah, my intentions are to go over the planning to sync with everyone on our priorities and have like an understanding of what everyone is doing, so we go more smoothly together. And distractions are my board that I didn't update, that I'm doing this now. And I pass to Juan.
Thank you, Libby. My intention is to update my board because it's an issue that I haven't done before in the last week. And I have no distractions. I am here to be fully present in the call, and I will pass it to Jake.
Yeah, just get ready for the next one, and hatch and everything else, and excited about it. And I'm pretty good today. They're actually rather content, so I'm great. I will say that I'm out. Okay, I lied. What, Zayden? What? Nothing. I can't stop having calls, bud. I'm sorry. Anyways, what was I? Oh, yeah. I'm always trying to get over. I'm trying to get over to my board to move things, and every time I think I moved everything, I go back and find that Tam or Griff put a new label on something, and I didn't get it again. Ugh! That's about that. I'm gonna pass it over to Jess.
Sorry, I've been having some internet issues. Olivia sounded like a robot for me, so I had to like refresh and find my intentions and distractions. Yeah, just get some things on the board, catch up with the PM side. I've been really deep in the distribution this week to promote everything, and trying to get back on track and maybe looking at delegating some of the project management so that I can focus more on the content production and distribution. And I don't have any distractions except half of a bagel. And I will pass it to Santi, unless he went during my refreshing.
Hello, guys. I also was listening to Libby with some problems. I don't know if it looks like it may be her. Okay. Anyway, intentions, just sync with everyone, get that board ready for the next sprint, and distractions, a big storm here, and hopefully I don't have internet connections while we're having a meeting. I'll pass it to Septimus.
Thank you, Santi. My intentions for the call is, synchronize with everyone and get ready what our goals are for the next sprint. And I don't have distractions. I'll pass it to Eduardo.
Hello, everyone. Usually it's to get to know what everyone has been planning for the next sprint also, and to see if I can help in anything besides my own onboarding working group. And my distractions is like the same with the people who is in Barcelona. There is kind of a weird, shady weather here today, so it's quite like, if you hear any weird sound, it's probably coming from the hell of a wind that it's shaking everything. And the distraction is I just came up from a work meeting, so I'm a little bit like overflow with information because it's Friday. It's at the end of the day. So that's my only instruction. So if I get lost, please bear with me. And I will pass it on to Metaverde.
Hi. My intention is to find a spot on the sprint board. I think this is where I'm supposed to be talking about how to help with the onboarding flow for people to the new Discord that we don't have yet. And my distraction is I'm hungry and I just put some pizza in the oven and it'll be out in about 10 minutes. So when I eat, I won't be distracted anymore. And Monstro, did you go yet? I'm going to pass it to Monstrosity.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit in and out, so I think you guys are asking about distractions. I've got a baby that I'm trying to take care of. I just lost my job, got laid off. So I'm trying to do a resume here, but I'm still debating on whether I even want to get back into work and trying to join these calls and multitasking quite a bit. So was there any other questions? Meta brought me to this meeting, so thank
Cool.
you.
Your attention.
Your intention
My
for this
attention.
intention.
Yeah, so Meta brought me to this meeting. It's a planning meeting, I understand. I jumped in the last call, and that was pretty interesting material, and so I'm just a little bit fascinated by it. I was kind of thinking, I'm pretty active in the One Hive, and I thought that there were maybe some good takeaways that we can bring back to the One Hive, and so that's kind of what I was looking at. Still just trying to learn.
Cool. Welcome. Chewy, I think you haven't gone yet. Would you like to go next?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can
hear you great. We
And now
can't
you're
hear you
muted.
anymore, though. Now you're muted. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit out of context because I had to run to the door for the last minute, but I'm sorry. What are you guys
The
talking
idea
about?
is, sorry, Tamara. The idea is just give your intentions for the call and then distractions that may come up during the call, like getting the door.
Yeah. Well, I'm here. Well, as you know, Griff, I'm trying to get a hold of what you guys are working on in tech, and well, legal is I've been like informed of what you guys do here, so I just wanted to jump in and try to get some context of what the community is working on. And I mean, regarding distractions, yeah, I mean, probably like that, like run to the door, or the other day I was in the middle of a meeting, and there was like a loud noise outside, and I thought that someone fell or something like that, and I had to run. So yeah, I mean, it's like pretty much like incidentals like that, but yeah, I'm living on my own, so it's not common to have like distractions, but it's weird. They happen to they tend to happen during these calls, but yeah, other than that, I don't get a lot of distractions.
I think like, who's gonna go? Craig. I think Craig and Griff are the last two people. So maybe we'll save Griff for last. Craig, you wanna, if that's okay, Griff.
Good morning, or wherever you are. Intentions, yeah. Sprint 2 planning and distractions currently 0. As usual, just wait a couple minutes.
Your internet sounds so good, though, Craig. So good. So yeah, intentions for the call. I am very excited about this sprint planning. I'm so inspired from that last call. I'm like high right now. I'm kind of forgetting what we're even here to do. But distractions, I'm trying to quickly label everything with next sprint so that I can so that it gets on the board. And but yeah, other than that, I'm pretty much here.
Cool. I don't believe I missed anyone. Okay. But if I did, can you please let me know? So there's some new people here, and I just want to say welcome, everyone. TEC is proactive on transparency, so everyone is welcome, and we do record these and post them on YouTube or sometimes live stream them. I think I should give an overview of what this is, and it is a reminder to myself that I should probably also add an overview to our calendar. So if you're on our calendar and you read the notes, you can understand what this is. This is our sprint planning, and we are all of the stewards for the different working groups. So for onboarding, SoftGov, the TEC Paramms, communications, legal, plan our work for the next 2 weeks. And this is where we do it. The agenda is in the calendar. If anyone needs help grabbing it, let me know. So I just want to mention a few things. I guess, first of all, it's a 2-hour, we have 2 hours reserved. If we finish early, that's great. We could either talk about other stuff or we could end early, but we'll try to keep it within the 2 hours. As a reminder of like the 1, 2, 3 of using ZenHub, I put the link here, but essentially what it is just use the board, look at the board. It'll help in our day-to-day communications with each other and focusing on the priorities that we've committed to doing. The @ in the comments, the mentions in the comments, and looking at notifications to see what you've been mentioned in or what somebody might need your help in. And then the ideas around keeping it simple. And you can go back to review that if you want. So I think we should first, normally we wouldn't close out the sprint in the beginning of the next sprint planning, but this is our first sprint and we're sort of trying to fit things into a reasonable amount of time. So we are going to do a quick closeout. And I would say if we look at sprint 1 here, the kickoff, I will encourage everyone now to take a few minutes to, if you have an issue that is finished, that's closed, can you guys close it out now so we can just see what we have left? And then we can maybe go through some, make sure I already tagged everything for next sprint that's already closed so that we probably want to replan some of the things that's still in progress. Okay. All right. So I can see we were super ambitious for our first sprint, and maybe we overloaded ourselves with what we thought we would be able to do, because it seems like we still have a lot that haven't moved out of the sprint backlog. Okay, why don't we do this for today so we can get started on replanning. Oh, the blocked ones. Okay, we know why both of these are blocked, and we'll move them both back to the product backlog. And they're both tagged with next sprint. Okay. Are any of the ones that are in progress or in the sprint backlog right now close to completion, or should we?
I was just going to ask a question, Tam, and I think a lot of these are mine. I'm still catching up. I'm working on them now too. I'm closing stuff. Few very close to being done as well. And then I wanted to ask you, did you create any new issues? Are the repeating issues, we have to create them new, or is somebody doing those? Like, for example, the news blog, like that's a repeating task. So should I go and open an issue, or is somebody else creating the repeating?
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it, or Ivy will do it. Because we didn't close this out yet, I didn't put them all back in yet.
I see. Okay, I'm closing the repeating. I'm closing, like, I just closed that news blog one. So I just didn't know if I don't want to double up. So thanks for clarifying.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move everything back into the sprint backlog. And while I'm doing that, will you, everyone here, choose the top 2 or 3 priorities for your working group. And if they're not already tagged next sprint, then please tag them next sprint. And keep in mind the top 2 or 3 priorities, but everything you think should go into the next sprint, can you start tagging them next sprint? Oh, I don't have that in here. Sorry about that. That should be in here. And I will move everything back to the product backlog. And we'll start fresh. Okay. Oopsie. Okay. Okay.
Can I ask Craig a question while he's here and we're doing stuff? Craig, this whole CRM and like CSV file with all the emails and stuff, where's that at? I didn't see any comments on the issue. Maybe you're updating it now. So
Yeah, all 3 of those 164 through 166 are basically waiting on Dan jobs. I don't know.
Is there like a particular blocker, or maybe we can get a help to identify what's blocking it, or like what are we waiting for, just to get more clear on like what is the block, and then see if he needs support for anything for that.
I've been in contact with him. He doesn't seem to need support. I've offered support. Griff may know more, but it seems like he's close to doing what needs to be done to start the migration to the TEC. Would be better if he were here. I can't necessarily speak for him, other than like he's the one that's doing that. I have no knowledge or activity there until it's ready to come to the TEC side.
Okay, no worries at all. Maybe we just tag it next sprint, and it's not like a rush or anything. So we could tag it next sprint.
It's
Yeah.
close,
Okay.
I
Cool.
think.
Okay, so I'm putting all the repeating tasks in our sprint backlog now, just to make sure we have them all there. And I think onboarding hatchers, I think we should probably revisit that one, but it's a next sprint. Good. And okay. All right. Should we start with comms, Jess? Do you wanna kick us off?
Actually, I could maybe do with like 5 more minutes to
Okay, you got it.
quickly update a few things. Thank you.
Okay, in that case, let's see. Carlos, should we? Oh, did somebody try to say something? Okay.
I have a question. If there is something that I did, but is like something that has to be like done 3 or 2 times a year, where do I put it in the next sprint, and then I close it and reopen it, or should I put it where like continuous tasks?
2 or 3 times a year?
Yes, like the onboarding for the conflict managers.
I mean, it sounds like that's something that you can just add 3 times a year.
Okay.
You know, we have
So
repeating for weekly, for sprint, and for month, but it sounds to me like that's probably just 3 issues over the course of 1 year.
Okay, perfect.
Shall we start with conflict management? I'm going to make sure we have next sprint. So this is what we have for as labeled for next sprint. What is it looking like? Suggested new role. Is this something that I think you have done already? Is this the role of the graviton?
Yes, it's defined like it was in the onboarding document.
Is this something
that
for
needs
next?
review? No, that's not nothing. No, maybe
It's not done.
I don't know if that should be in the onboarding document where in the section where it says like the different roles that there are in the organization.
I'm not following, Juan Carlos.
I saw a document that that described the different roles in the organization in these terms, and I just like suggested this new role, but I don't know if this is something that we should like add to the onboarding document as it is, or if it needs like still review.
Griff or Olivia, would you like to help out with that question? Because I'm stuck, actually.
I can't say that I understand the question.
¿La puedes decir en castellano, Juan? A ver si de repente traduciéndola nos entendemos mejor.
No, I think that I can speak in English. So what happened is that I think that I made this issue before I fully comprehended the hatch. So I don't know if the roles of the organization as are in the onboarding document will change after the hatch, or if it will be good just to have this like explained in the onboarding document. I can share the link of the document that I'm referring to.
You mean all the roles? You mean all the roles, or just the roles, the gravity roles?
No, all the roles. All the roles. I mean, there is a document where it says like community steward, and these are the responsibilities of the community steward. And there are other roles that are like subject matter expert. So I like suggested this new role to add to that document.
Okay, I don't think it's a conflict management issue to define all the roles. Like we can put them together and add the graviton to it. So maybe we can have this issue as defining graviton, and then we can have another one, me and you, to revisit the roles.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of sounds to me like that too, that this is actually the conflict manager, the new role of conflict manager is sorted because you've already defined graviton and already started the training for gravitons, that excellent training from yesterday. So I feel quite comfortable closing this. Do you feel comfortable that this is done, or is there any other action that you need to take for this?
The only action I would like to take is to know if I should add this description into the onboarding document I sent in the stewards group, because in that document it says like the roles, and it says like contributor, subject matter expert, community steward, and I don't know if we should add like graviton.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what you were. I think I didn't understand right before, but yeah, we definitely need to update that document. But I think as we have now, I actually looked at it with Tim the other day, and it seems pretty up to So we would just have to move to a better place rather than that document that nobody sees. So I think, yeah, it makes sense to add it there until we move somewhere else.
Okay.
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 All right. Let's move on. Cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to take up so much time. That. And then the terms and conditions. Do you think you'll have time to just look at any of these today? And I might need some help with, I guess, Livia, the terms and conditions, or maybe Griff, terms and conditions. Which ones are the ones that are ready for each of the working groups to have a look at them?
Yeah, so I think this is a bit of my I didn't function so well with this, like separating them into multiple. In the hack sections, we were kind of looking at all of them together. So they are all somehow done. And yeah,
So can we look at them as one batch?
Yeah, that would be better.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd say we can redo that, but for now, let's move it. And then Juan Carlos, is there anything else in the conflict management that you do this sprint? I know you have the Graviton training, and it's a huge load to do that. But is there anything else?
I am going to review the hatch terms and also the terms and conditions that I think that you already like put it in the sprint backlog. And also I want to like give another review to the graduated sanctions. So I can also like drag some of the issues that I already have here.
Okay, cool. If you want to do that, can you for the graduated sanction, can you add an issue for that and just put it on the board, please?
I already have an issue.
Which one? Sorry.
It says related to unwanted behavior to graduated sanctions.
Cool. All right, excellent. Yeah, so when we're doing the sprint planning, we sort by next sprint so that we see each of the issues that the working group has tagged for next sprint, or somebody who belongs in the next sprint has tagged it for next sprint. So if it's not tagged with that, it may get lost during the sprint planning. It's just sort of a way to prioritize outside of the large product backlog. Cool, thanks, Juan Carlos.
Thank you.
Eduardo, shall we do onboarding?
Sure.
Okay. All right. And we'll look for next sprint. So, what are the main issues that you'd like to bring into the next sprint?
The proposals ones, well, they are inside the epic.
So this one for the 10 great proposals?
Yeah, yeah, that should be accomplished. I mean, we are too short of them.
Yeah.
But with the ones that we added for inside the epic, those will cover that up. And I want to also move that for the next sprint. There are a bunch, like, remember the ones that are to be contacted and the ones that are.
Yeah. That's actually a good point. I'm actually going to close this one then, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because now we have the individual one.
Yeah.
And they don't have the next sprint tag on them, but proposals like this,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So can you tell me the proposals that are going in the next sprint?
Yeah, you can type TBC.
All right, hold on 1 second. It looks like that's not going to work that way. TBC.
Yeah.
Wait, onboarding. Let's try this one. Onboarding. Here are all our proposals.
Or if you just write proposal / this should be open.
Yeah. So which ones? Oh, all the
All.
TBCs?
Yes.
Do you think we're going to be able to reach out to all of them in the next 2 weeks?
If not, at least the ones on proposals. We should like aim to get the maybe not the TBC, but the ones that are on proposal section, the ones above, should be these ones exactly.
Okay. Okay, let me find it like that then. Proposal /
Yeah, I don't know why they don't show up.
No, either. Here they are. So this one, the TE Academy.
Yeah.
Jess, do you think Token Kitchen comes into this sprint, or do we give it some more time?
Yeah, I just talked to Sherman, and she's working on a proposal. She had an idea, so I think it's going to happen in this sprint. And I was going to invite her to present on February 4th. So I hope that she can complete it. So it should be.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, cool. Good to know. All right, and I'm leaving all the TBCs. The TBCs, are there any ones in here that we have prioritized for this sprint? To reach out to them?
Ones got assigned to Jake. The ones assigned to Jake, I think, could be the ones that at least the reach out will be accomplished.
I don't see that one. I see one on for Livia.
Well, I commented on 2 of those that he made for the Commons, and then Neuron.
Oh yeah, you closed that one.
Yeah, I took care of those and moved them. The only other one I had there that I don't know if he actually finished creating it, but was for the balancer CAD. I still needed to try and touch base with them.
Yeah, it should be there.
Yeah. Cool.
Yay.
Jake, that's for you. Oops. Free. Sorry, I keep forgetting your name. You have 3 different names.
Yeah.
Okay.
That and also the Livy, can you help me? This is the terms and condition forum. Also, I am working with her on that, so that should be also just to all the label of onboarding working group to that issue. Just before I forget.
Help me find that. I'm not sure what that is.
It's the terms and conditions for the forum.
Got it. Let's try clear all filters. Terms and conditions.
SoftGov TNC form. I think that's the one.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's just to add. It's just to add the tag, and the other one that needs to be added is the one for the onboarding for the Discord. That's an issue that I think is not being created yet.
I think that one is actually, yeah, let me see. The onboard for the form, I think that's the one that we started, and we have Metaverde, I think, who might be on that one. That one, right?
Yep, this is my spot. Am I on there?
Hold on, what number is it? Let's see.
Is there at your right, Gravity Terms and Condition Forum 258 and Bring Backlog at your right, I think.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so these /TNC forums, these are the terms and conditions, and they're for each basically media that we're doing. So the forum, sorry, were you saying something?
No, I was just I was listening to you. Sorry.
And each of the working groups, well, I think SoftGov and Legal have to have a look at each of those terms and conditions, and that's why it's broken down like that. I think that one caused a little confusion.
It's just to add the tag of the onboarding working group to that one, because that's one that I'm doing with Livy. and the sessions for the terms and conditions.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So this one, you want to, okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Okay. Feel free to do it too. You can also jump in and do that too.
And the other one issue that I will create that is not there is the one that it's for Meta Verde and me for the onboarding Discord. Yeah.
It's this one.
No, this is new Discord, I think.
Okay, so hold on. I see that I wanted to look at 320. Let's try that. Nope. 160. I don't know. I had all these. I was trying to look at 165. Oh no, not that one either. Okay, so it's like channels in Discord, right? New Discord, deciding channels and categories. Yeah. No, is this it?
Nope.
Nope. All right.
I don't think it
was it. There was one that was okay. I think the one that I'm thinking of is actually not an onboarding. It's so can we wait until we get there? Actually,
yeah.
Because it had to do with using the One Hive model for onboarding journey and channels in Discord to use as a model for TEC.
Yeah.
And that one was under communications, not under onboarding. So let's wait for that one. But is there anything else that the onboarding working group, which we call onboarding, but is really outreach to proposals and hatchers? Is there anything else in this work stream?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, cool. All right. Jess, shall we do it now?
Wait,
yeah,
before
I
you
think I'm ready. Oh,
before you move to onboarding, I have an issue in onboarding that I just want to get in the next sprint. It's the
Okay.
I tagged it in next sprint in onboarding. It's just for me. I set a goal of getting 10 new soft commits.
Oh, nice.
And I'm happy for the mutual accountability practice.
All right.
Griff, I also saw that you made an offboarding issue, so I added that to this sprint too.
Cool. I probably made that a while ago, I guess.
I just saw it. Sorry.
No worries. I forgot I made one.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's just clear this and have a quick look. 50 issues. Okay, but a lot of these are repeating. Thanks for that, Griff. Thanks. It's cool. Should we jump to communications? Jess, you said you're ready?
Sure.
Cool.
I feel like there's
cool.
There's some work that's still not getting reflected on the board, but that's also okay. It's things I'm handing off. Like for example, this week I talked with Sean because it's been a lot of time actually to do like the promotion and distribution for TEC Labs. So he is now I'm giving him the Twitter powers, and I gave him the graphic templates, and he said, I asked him because, I don't want to take away time from like coding, but he said he's cool. He has the bandwidth. So I'm going to hand off that because that promotion, was turning into kind of a lot more with these various collaborations that are being spun up. So that will help. But that was something that like wasn't on the board that took up quite a bit of time this sprint. But yeah, sorry. I think I've updated most of everything. I'm on the verge of shipping these 2 articles. Other than that, the main thing that I want to bring to the fore is I would like to hand off the Discord migration, and it does not currently have an owner.
This one? Those categories?
No. That one I'm doing. It is issue number 319. It was tagged onboarding and comms. So I noticed there were 2 issues. So I closed one and said dupe 319. So 319 is the issue, and it would be great if we could find an owner for that. It's one of those projects that it sounds easy, but it actually turns into like a lot of coordination and like, you know, random. So I would love to ask somebody to own that. I can support it, but I just don't feel like I have the bandwidth if I want to focus on content production and distribution to own that. But I'm doing pieces of it.
Okay. Is this for the next sprint? Because we don't have the Discord up yet, so probably this is going to be the sprint after. But I've noted that we need help on it.
There's basically like some prep work. Like I'm already talking with Angela about submitting her proposal. So in that conversation, I will say, "Hey, Ange, how do you feel about how we migrate? Do you have some ideas?" Or if I want to like get her, you know, feedback on how she sees is the best way. And then I'm working on like with Chris some of the kind of front-facing categories and whatnot. And then, you know, Meta Verde said she's willing to help with the onboarding flow and journey inside the Discord. And then there's the actual migration of like when, like we have to say, promote, "Hey everybody, we're moving." So when are we doing that? And this announcing it and like getting everybody organized on doing that is the part that needs ownership. Is that clear?
Those sound like a lot of different issues that we can hand off to different people.
Exactly. Exactly. So
is there somewhere where I can find why it's being migrated and not just updated and reformed? Like why the just
we started out in the token engineering Discord, and now that we're launching a token economy, people are could be flooding in. Like
actually has to move to a new server.
Oh.
I just want to jump in and kind of say, like, it seems like before we can do anything, we just need to talk to Angela about it. I want to take on that issue of talking to Angela and seeing what she thinks the best path is.
I already have a call with her about submitting a proposal, so I figured I'd do it all at once. And since I have probably, you know, I have a good relationship with her, I thought we could just tackle it in the same call, 2 for 1. And I'm working with her for something else as well. So I'm already doing the talking to her about it.
Froze on me.
And then I'm gonna drop everything with like I'm trying to hand off, I guess, the bigger project. Like somebody needs to own the new Discord, you know? Like Chris is owning the back end setup. I am owning like the content supporting the onboarding, or somebody else can own that. And I'm happy to give it all up. I just figured I'm talking to Angela anyway. I'll ask her.
I don't think that owning the new Discord is in the sprint, though. That's the thing. So the only issue I see in the sprint is the talking to Angela and then making a plan.
Okay,
so,
that sounds
but
good.
making a plan is kind of blocked by talking to Angela. So do you know when you're going to talk to Angela?
Sure. I'm in the middle of trying to find a calendar spot. I think I should talk to her. I think next week, because I want to get her. Yeah, she said end of January. She wants to submit the proposal. So next week, I'm back and forth with her right now. Okay, thank you, Griff. That helps to clarify. Because yeah, I guess I was just a little bit stuck on like it feels like a big thing, but yes, we only have to do one thing. This is the major dependency. We can focus on this for the sprint, and then we may be able to do one more thing once this is unblocked. Thank you. That's very helpful. Because sometimes, you know, these feel like, you know, we do have an epic for it, I believe, and Tamara helped me to tease it out into issues, but great.
Cool. I do think we have an epic for that, and I'll go back and figure out with yeah, we can review. We can go back and look at here it is. Set up the new TC Discord server. Okay, and the migration is just part of that epic. Cool.
Okay.
Awesome. What else?
I added a new task already for the next step. For the onboarding video, we have the concept. Now we need to make the storyboard. So I added that. I think I put it in this sprint or tagged it for next sprint.
When you put it, you mean you dragged it to this column?
I have to double check. I thought I did, but maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, then I didn't get a chance to see it. Sorry.
Let me find it. Sorry, I thought I tagged it. Oops. Okay.
I think I put all of your repeating ones in here, and now this Discord server, and we have the article new to the TEC. Oh, is that? Yeah, Nate is working on that. Cool, excellent. Have you? Has Nate? Have you and Nate synced on this article, by the way?
Yes, he messaged me yesterday, and he sent me a draft. So now I am going to take a look at his draft, and give him some feedback, and then he can publish. Yeah.
All right. So this one is going to stay in the product backlog. What else do you want to bring into the sprint?
Sorry, yeah, that one was already there. The new person view. So that's just an edit. What else is in this sprint? Oh, coming up with a new tagline. We have an exercise next Tuesday to carry on the work we did last week and go into the words and just bounce some ideas around to make it a little more collaborative process.
Is that an issue? Is that already on the board, or is that new?
It's not on the board, it's new. And yeah, if anybody else, Griff or Jake, have any other thoughts on content pieces coming up, I kind of just need to sit with, let me go look at this roadmap. I think for content pieces, I just need to look at the roadmap and identify what's the priority. I would also wanted to bounce off of Griff and Santi. I guess the main blocker is not, I guess we could start to work on a how to become a hatcher piece, even a draft, because the CStack token DApp will be getting finished, is my understanding this week. For me, that's the biggest content piece that's missing right now. It's missing from the welcome to the TC. We have no pieces on how to become a hatcher, so I see that as being a huge priority, but I wanted to bounce it off of like Santi and Griff. But I think at least a draft can be in this sprint, and then when the token DApp is ready, we can release it. And what do you guys think?
I would say we could put it as a draft in the sprint, but less is more, and I would count that as a bonus, personally.
Okay, is there any other priority that you see that is for this sprint?
I mean, mostly just the stories, the TEC stories. I think that's the big priority. The stories series, the why, those two things.
Yeah.
Like this one, Jess?
Yeah, that it's almost finished.
Oh. Well, should I drag it into the sprint since it's almost finished?
I was trying to like leave it in last sprint, but I mean, either way, I know it's the number one thing. I've been trying to close it.
And what is this one? Is this a dupe? The why?
Yeah, I'm not sure why we did 2 for those. I guess I was trying to figure out if it was going to be 2 or... Yes, I guess it's 2 because I'm going to turn the what we are funding into a blog and just add a little bit to it. So yeah, we can have 2 pieces. The why piece is more like higher level. I will do the second piece is turning the what we fund into more of a blog by like adding a few things to it. We can leave it as 2. I was kind of seeing if it was all going to fit into 1, but I think it's better we break it into 2. So I'll leave it.
I think more shorter pieces will be more digestible.
Yeah.
So would you, this goes into the sprint too, cool. What about these three that I think were assigned to Craig? I don't know, Craig, if you want to jump in on these. These were in the last sprint too, but I don't know where
those are
we
the ones
are.
that we talked about earlier.
Oh,
Sorry, I guess I went out of turn. Yeah, Craig just said we're gonna put it in next sprint. It's kind of an ongoing thing. Dan's working on parts of it, and he's in touch with him, but he's kind of like waiting.
so it's still in. We're gonna do it in sprint 2. What do we think,
Maybe
Craig?
we need to
Jess?
break it down into smaller bits. I'm still not sure. Maybe we just
That would
need to
be
touch
my-
on it.
Yeah, that would be my expectation, but it's really we need some input from Dan.
Okay. Okay. Maybe MailChimp with these. Okay. I wonder if Dan knows. Let me just say quick.
I pinged him in some issue responses, so I'm not exactly sure what his bandwidth is.
Yeah, I sent him. I just sent him a message to. It's Nubs. About this. What is it that you're expecting from Dan? Sorry, just to understand.
What issue are we in now? So I don't have any access to any TEC member emails. That's still being sort of decided on like how that personal information is handled, and it's tied into the CRM. I don't have access to any of that. Again,
Can I understand what this work is actually? So somewhere there's a list of emails, and we want to convert that list into a CSV file. Is that the work?
Is it a legal question?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And maybe we need to talk to Chris and Dan, Craig, to uncover, like, I guess there's a question maybe around legally, like, are the trusted seed members an asset of the common stack? And can we, as the TEC, quote unquote, get it from them? Or do we need our own process to collect data and email information? Maybe that's a blocker, but I think it just needs like a touch in with Dan and Chris. We basically, what we're trying to do is we would like to have either MailChimp or HubSpot. HubSpot seems to be the better choice so that we can do outbound push campaigns leading up to the hatch to provide the TEC members with information because it cannot all be done from the common stack side. Anything related to TEC, we need our own HubSpot, we need our own mailing system, and we will need to do like a mass communications for sending out articles leading up to the hatch.
How do we differentiate between the trusted seed and TEC members?
That is the question. I think maybe.
I mean, that's the question.
Okay, so question. So can I help? So we have emails for all trusted seed, but how do we determine which ones? How do we say this? We reach out to as.
Well, I mean,
right?
that's pretty easy, right, Craig? You can just cross compare the trusted seed list to your TEC list. But can we, like, is there going to be any legal issue if we're taking the assets of the common stack? I don't know. I don't actually know if there is even an issue. Maybe it's not a concern. But Chris would know the answer. Maybe Griff knows the answer.
I mean, executing it is not a problem. It's still just an outstanding question. And the relationship between CStack and TEC. And my understanding is Dan's been working on this for a long time and he's close. But again, I can't. All I can do is convey chats.
The blocker is that we need to ask, and I don't know that I made this CStack sprint, And I don't know if anyone else who was at the Common Stack Sprint, but the plan was that we'd send out an email to ask everyone if they want to opt in to sharing their information with the TEC. And these are like, we have to do a better job at separating the Common Stack from the Token Engineering Commons, and this is part of that process of saying, listen, you guys don't get our data. They gave the Common Stack permission. They didn't give the TEC permission. So
I think.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I just don't think it's in the sprint for them.
The solution. Here's the sprint. Here's an item that seems like it would make sense, so it doesn't turn into a bit of a mess. If we add on the trusted seed form, do you agree to share your information with the Token Engineering Commons? Because otherwise, if we don't do that, we're going to constantly have to go manually ask people to opt in. And I think that could get messy for tracking or just annoying or just extra manual work.
Yeah.
So
and
if we are
Lydia, you're on top of that type form, right? Can you add that?
No.
Great. Done.
And maybe check with Chris to make sure that that's also something that's okay. I don't want to be too oversensitive, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's okay.
Okay.
So
that should solve that, and then we can work on the actual moving the data.
Okay.
But then we still have to do a retro, the people that are already in it, to go back and send an email to ask them. So that's Dan, ask the trusted seed to opt in, and Livy, update the form to separate issues. And then we can move on with the TEC CRM.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would love for that to be an issue that's assigned to someone in the TEC to cat herd Dan and just make sure it happens.
Yeah, I've been coordinating with him. I'll keep doing that. I chat with him almost daily, so I'm, that's about all I can do.
Okay. And this one is dependent on 165, which is dependent probably on 164.
Yeah,
I think
I think it was just unclear, the question. So thanks for clearing that up. I think we're good now, and it is going to be unblocked.
Okay. All right, and this we also need some help from Dan on this about what we're using, what platform we're using. Okay. All right, so for comms, anything else that you want to pull into the sprint, Jess?
I feel like
articles. Just disclaimer for proposals.
Oh yeah, that was when I had written a question in for Livia. So I did kind of my part, which was to do the disclaimer. But then she now is doing some other work that has actually changed that work, or this issue I think is closed. I did kind of my part, and then Livy is taking it forward and then asking me for like feedback here and there. But I don't know, Livy, if that's a separate issue and we can close this one.
Okay.
I'm a bit lost.
This was okay. What happened, I think, was we didn't have the advice section fully fleshed out. So in the meantime, I was going into the proposal template to write, what happens after you submit. This is like a pre-proposal process where you get feedback and yada, yada, yada. Then Livy started realizing that the better solution was to flesh out the advice section. And we're still in process of figuring out the best way to have these forum sections and represent the content. So it's kind of ongoing forum fixing the proposal section. So however to represent that in issues, I'm not sure. To me, this issue is closed. It has now become a new issue, which is kind of more ongoing of fleshing out the proposal section and adjusting the templates. And Livy is doing her thing with like how she wants to run the governance via the proposal sections in the forum.
Oh, I see. Thanks for clarifying. There was just a moment that we talked in the onboarding working group that was like during the calls also, to tell people when we are onboarding their proposals that like, hey, this might not be the final version of the proposal that will go to the comments. So it was also kind of like a verbal disclaimer when people were submitting the proposal, and then like telling them that it's a good practice to submit to the advice process first, and then when the Commons is launched, they will have a moment to revisit that proposal and then change to conviction voting and submit to the Commons.
Okay. Okay, that's clear. So I'm going to close this. Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. And I do remember that message I think it might have even been on our FAQ for onboarding proposals. If not, it probably should be there too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it was just the understanding of what happens next, and that you're submitting. We don't know how much money we're going to raise. So submit what you want. This will help to guide our minimum for the raise, and then they, telling them you will go back once you get feedback, gather feedback from the community, and then once the DAO is live, you can see how much we actually raised, and then resubmit. Submit your request to the actual DAO and ask.
Okay. All right. And there's one more thing I wanted to ask about. Yes, you mentioned the onboarding video. Which is the issue from that epic that you want to pull in? Is it the concept part?
If you search storyboard, I'm not sure why it's not showing up.
Hold on.
So weird. I have it on the sprint, create storyboard for onboarding video, and it's got a next sprint tag, and it's in the sprint.
Great. Okay. Cool. Okay. And then anything else?
No, I think we've got enough on our plate, and that feels better that it's more like refined. So I think a couple of things were like unblocked by us talking about it.
Okay. All right. Livia, robot Livy. Should we do a soft gov?
Oh, is it still a robot?
Yes, I also have robot Livy.
Let me try to change my connection. Do you want to pass to someone else?
Jake!
She's a heavy smoker, that's rude.
Jake, how's the situation? Ready to go?
Good. Yes, I'm fine. I'm happy. Yeah, I don't know. You can. I don't know. Bark. Hey, get this done. Why are these? What's going on? I don't know. Somebody do it.
You want me to help? Okay, I can bark, dude. I can bark.
I'm going with you.
Well, I think the big thing is the stuff that wasn't done in last sprint. Come on. What was it? Well, there was something. It was like a forum post or something that we were going to write. I don't see the board filtered. Can you filter the board for the last milestone?
Yeah, let me try that.
Oh, it's the hatch strategy. That's what it is. We need to make a form and get people to vote on it.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to work on that this weekend with YGG.
Great. Yeah. So that's like the first priority.
Yeah, because we had to have the spec done and everything else moving forward.
Yeah.
Put something in for them to understand.
Yeah. And now we have confirmation with Wes as well. So the idea is that
we're ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, there's that Google Doc I put together that has like how we vote for the hatch and then how we vote for the Commons upgrade. We just need the blog post for how we vote for the hatch, the first part. And that's it.
We can just start going around on all those other ones in the product backlog.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, if you have space this sprint, then that's for sure. But I think the big one is working with YGG to finish the I have it on me, for me at least, polish the simulation with YGG. That's a big.
Yeah, well, I moved those other ones in the backlog. I put to next sprint. I didn't, but because this one I have to get this one done with YGG, so then we can start. And then Wes is ready, and we can start putting everything else in after that.
Yeah, I think also I don't see this as an issue, but doing user testing on Wes's voting app would be really nice.
She did.
Like going through and actually practicing with it. Oh, thank you, Tim.
Oh, getting other people to use their impact hour tokens.
Yeah.
And just make sure everything.
Oh, and that might also need to be a repeating task. Looks like user testing token log. That's great, Tim. Thank you. Not this. This doesn't need to be a repeating task. But another issue I'm about to ask you to make. But I'll wait a second.
Yeah. Free. Okay.
Yeah. And then we need to actually dish the impact hour tokens when we dish impact hours. So that's something you and I can do, Jake. I can show you how to do it once, and then maybe you can take some notes or whatever, and we can do it like that for it. You can just do it after that.
Can we use do I gotta deploy new tokens, or we can use those other?
No, we can use the other ones. You have the power to just mint new tokens.
Right.
So what we'll do is we'll mint new tokens, the number of tokens we need, number of impact hours, and then we'll use disperse app to disperse them. It
the
won't
same
be
way,
hard.
really. We'll just do the same thing again.
Exactly.
And but I got to keep track of it now to follow up with like maybe Ivy on gathering all those impact hours, because I don't want to.
All that data exists. I'll just show you how to do it, and you'll just have to do it every 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
You'll realize how easy it is.
Yeah,
once
that's fine. That's fine.
It'll take us like 15 minutes to do the first one, and then you'll be able to do it.
Yeah. I get to dish tokens.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. The other big one is why? I mean, I think that's
it.
Ones. Yeah, those are the biggest ones. You know,
they were blockers. They were in the way, but we're right there. We're gonna have it done, and then I can move right into February really strong. So
yeah, I hope we can actually get the vote off this sprint for the house.
Well,
not just the
once his lab went so well, and we get this post out there, and then I'll follow up. I think we can get some people using, and people thought token log was pretty cool too. So I think we can get people doing that.
Yeah, I actually had someone from Dior. It's a major crew in the space. Ask about like, wow, I want to use token. So it's very encouraging.
Yeah. So yeah, still within this sprint, I think for just what we're talking about, as far as all those other posts that come after with people proposing hatch params and all of that, and forking and using token log itself, would be in February, the beginning of February.
And can I just comment one thing, Griff, on this? Because you're mentioning like promotion and everything. I see this is a whole research initiative that could be another spinoff and kind of network collaboration. And yeah, I mean, to really understand and have kind of like a TLDR, a high level overview of the Paramms, I think that's something that could be really interesting. 'Cause yeah, it's creating a huge value for the entire ecosystem. And I've mentioned it to Sherman as well, and she may be interested to support the documentation. So I could ask her, because she messaged me and said her proposal was about writing a kind of guide for like analyzing token models. And I told her, hey, please go check out all of the documentation on Paramms, and Sean is also working on this thing. So she's a potential person or resource who might be interested to work on the documentation for that. But yeah, that's big work, and definitely could use like a kind of another spin up team or something. So I will pass it around to a few circles, but I think Sherman might be interested to support in the documentation.
I mean, I feel like for the hatch, because we have all these parameters documented in the forum, there's a little bit of cleanup there that can be done, but probably the big next push on this will be next sprint, like the this sprint, hopefully we can polish the CAD version so that I can move YGG to the Commons upgrade by the end of this sprint, and he can start working on that because that's going to be a lot of work, and it's going to be a blocker for the hatch. So
yeah, and then even on my side, there's a whole nother. I mean, that's the big one that to educate people on the ABC and going forward. So that is a lot, and he needs to be ready for that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll just when I have a call with Sherman next week about her proposal, so I'll just mention it to her in the case that she also wants to write a blog on the TEC. She was asking me, what are the highlights that she should include. So she's going to be putting out a piece in her Networks and Token Kitchen about the TEC. So anyway, I just see alignment there to connect. So I'll just ask her. She's got loads of bandwidth. She's like ready to write another book. So I'm sure she would be willing to write a bit on the parameters if we need something in particular.
Once we have this spec cleaned up, like what he showed today is great, but it's not done, and there are some things that need to get done. So I would say that her blog post would be way more interesting and way more impressive for us if we can delay her after the sprint to even start, because I want to see if we can get this all the way done, and if we can, it's going to be incredible, and the promotion will be wild, and that's when Sherman should write this thing. But we don't want to get started too early because it looks cool now, but it's going to be stellar in a bit.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, that's good context. So now I know. And yeah, we can wait a bit, or she's gonna write like a basic piece on the TEC, and then she could do like a deep dive on this because she's gonna be submitting a proposal to create documentation around analyzing token models. So yeah, okay, great, good to know. Cool.
And I would love her support on the second half, the Commons upgrade, because that's where there's a real token model. This is barely a token model. The next one, oh my God, we're going to need a team for the Commons upgrade.
Yeah. It's going to be massive.
I'll just give her the heads up and flow with it.
Okay, to keep going.
But yeah, I still have a week left. Yeah, we're good. We'll have all of that wrapped up and ready this sprint. That shouldn't be a problem.
Hey, Jake, I found the draft How to Propose TEC Hatch DAO Params, sort of on the bottom, but it's tagged next sprint. Is this one next sprint, or is this going to sprint 3?
I think that should go to sprint 3.
Yeah,
it'll be a bonus if we can get it this sprint.
Yeah, that exactly. I threw it in there because, like you said, if we get to it, it'd be really sweet. But yeah, given the circumstance of everything that has to come before it, it probably would be in the third one. But I'm going to shoot for it.
Awesome. If there's nothing else to add, I think.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I don't suppose I could jump in line and do the garden swarm, if that's okay, just because it's in my head alongside all this. And also, this is probably what Shui's waiting for. So I want to update the OneHive wiki with gardens info, and I'm probably going to lean on Shui for that, and that's in progress. And same with work on OneHive Buzz Team for Garden Swarm. And then the real big goal for the Garden Swarm this week, at least on the non-dev side, is for creating a forum post to actually request funds for the Garden Swarm. So that's it. Thank you. Unless there's anything else anyone has.
Yeah, it's around here. Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Excellent. So Santi, what's going on in legal this sprint?
Okay. Well, there's 3 of the issues that are on the sprint backlog, which are quite finished. Okay. The first one is 242, which is the legal TEC terms and conditions gravity. No, excuse me. No, not this one. The hatch one. The one that's on the back. It's on the back. It's on the backlog. It's. Did you move it? Okay. Then the praise source cred. I think I'm gonna have it ready for a proposal So technical part will be ready together with Mateo. We should move that to the spring, and the working group manifesto also will be in this sprint.
Excellent. Cool. Super
Then
cool.
I added this new one, which what is it? Where is it? I don't see it. I think you just moved it.
Give me a keyword.
I just added it. It should be the last one, 270 something. It's the terms of what was it? The meeting for the.
Oh, is it the one for meetings? Meeting attendance terms.
Legal form proposals.
Is it this one, Santi?
Yeah, right. Which let me say it. Right, that one. Yeah, we started working on that, and we're gonna be working together. I forgot how to add Evie and Zeptimus, because they're gonna be working on that with me. Can you add those two participants there? How do you add the participants there?
So we don't add participants. One person owns one issue. So you may work with many people on it, but one person is taking responsibility to make sure it gets finished.
Right, that's correct. But you mentioned the way, so is there any way that they can get the notifications when anything is added, or?
Yeah, if you just do the at them, right? Like you do the in the comments or something.
Okay. All right.
And Zep. Yes.
Perfect. That's fine.
As FYI. And I mentioned this to Ivy today, but the Gravity Group has their what is it called? The protocol for TEC calls, and there's some portions of it that are really specific, I think, to the facilitators and moderators of the call. But there is one section that is like the rules for participation, and that would be great to add into the attendance terms.
Well, the idea of the attendance terms is not that much of the rules to manage the calls. It's about the content being recorded on the call. So anyone who attends a call is aware that we can be posting the meeting anywhere on our social media channels, and also warning them that anything that we may say there on the meetings, it's not financial advice. We don't assume any risk. They all those kind of things. So the idea is to have this sentence at the beginning of the agenda and mention it at the beginning of the call, but then have this link that anyone can go and check and read everything about the calls being recorded and posted here and there, and that anything that we mention there, it's not legal advice. We don't take any responsibility, and so on.
Yeah, good. That's excellent.
So I think that's basically it, except that I have to work with Libby and Juan Carlos on review those documents that I need to go over from the legal side that they've been working on.
Okay. The terms and conditions.
Right. Because the GitHub we already started, and I added the work that we did on the legal working group. It's the 245 one. No, you moved it? Yeah, you
243.
just right, 243. So I'm intending to do the rest with the documents or the initial terms that they start with, and give it a thought and a view on the legal working group. So anything that they may have, I'll just jump on it.
So for those, I think the ones that we have less or working on simultaneously is Discord, Telegram, Forum, proposals, and Forum. And then the conviction voting, dandelion voting, and the bonding curve comes later, right?
Right.
So does it make sense for us to add the terms and conditions for Discord, Telegram, forum proposals, and forum as well? Since, as Livia said, this is sort of now a bundle.
If they are bundled, just move. At least leave them in the backlog at least, and I can talk with Livia and see how we manage those, both of us.
Okay, the sprint backlog.
Yeah.
All right, and maybe we need to just roll those up into one if it's one document now.
Right.
Cool. Transparency, Septimus.
Okay. I think we have accomplished our goals for first sprint, and we should create issues now. But our main goals are to first make the checklist, so then we can do the forum post for the vote. We already did the advice process, and we gathered some feedback. So we think we should add this feedback and then make the vote. And then we are also as Santi said, working with Santi on the transparency terms and conditions for the calls. I think that's our goal for this sprint.
Excellent. And this is the vote that you're talking about?
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
But I think we can add it to this sprint, right? Because I didn't see the label. I didn't saw the label on next sprint.
So there's two. There's audit, add proposal for vote on the forum, and then test the audit on a handful of working groups. Oh yeah, that's for later. Coordinate the transparency work system to the community.
Actually, we were thinking on we will do the audit post-hatch, but before hatch, we would like to do a trial audit on soft governance and gravity. So we think that those are the working group we can gather the best information to make the audit for the rest of the working groups.
Okay, but that's definitely not the sprint.
No, for this sprint, we're gonna make the vote and the checklist.
Okay, cool.
And work with Santi on the transparency terms and conditions. Yeah, those are our three goals for this sprint.
Okay, excellent, cool. Cool. Thank you. And then the last one is we should work on the community stewards manifesto. So I'll pull that into the sprint too. And hey, that's it. I didn't miss anyone, right?
You missed me.
Cool. Livia? I missed Livia?
We're missing the robot, yeah.
Am I not a human again? Is it still robot?
Yeah, let's just go. We'll do our best.
Oh my god. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so bear with me.
We understand you, Livia. It's not as soft gov as you used to be.
Okay. So yeah, the main focus, I think I got a bit we moved a lot in the code of conduct document, but it's still not in a review point. I think that's I hope to do that before Monday. And
I don't even see that one here. I'm sorry. I don't see the code of conduct here at all.
it's all this TNC, everything.
Oh, right. Terms and conditions. Okay. Sorry. Got it.
Yeah, I think it's best to use this epic to talk about them. This all terms and conditions. It's been working better for me that way, at least.
I'm having a hard. So, so the terms and conditions, or code of conduct, we the same ones we pull into the sprint. So the Telegram, Hatch, forum proposals, these.
Yeah, I mean, like we worked on more than the ones that are on the sprint. Worked basically on all of them, but none of them are in a like ready to review point. So that's why I was saying that I think it's better to use the all terms and conditions epic instead of like moving all of these tiny ones.
Yeah.
And then when they are in a ready to review point, that I hope it's gonna be like Monday, then we can start using these little ones.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Do you think those that the terms and conditions for at least that batch, not including the bonding curves, dandelion voting, or conviction voting, do you think the other terms and conditions will be ready this sprint? Do you think the next 2 weeks they'll be finalized, or do you think it's maybe going to take a little more time than that?
I think they will be ready.
Okay. So then maybe if we can leave them in, we don't have to. We can leave them in this area. I'm sorry, in this as individual items, specifically so that we can see that each of the groups has signed off on each specific one, even if we're like the working session is. Eventually, they will each be their own separate document. I think is that maybe that's not incorrect, but I think they'll eventually each be their own separate document, and this is to ensure that SoftGov Gravity Conflict Management has really signed off on a piece of it.
Yeah, so that comes to the next point that I mentioned in we go before, that I was looking at a document today and thinking like what we're going to do with it, how people are going to access all of this information. So I think it's a good moment to create a Git book that, like, the forum is the dynamic version of communication that we have, and of all the information being there. And then the handbook would be a more like static version of everything, that like very clean and clear for anyone joining. Like, this is the TEC. So I created a issue for that. Yeah, that one. I'm messaging them. I already submitted a request that will take up to 7 days for them to accept. For us to get a free Gitbook account, because we are an open source project. So many people can collaborate at once in that, but meanwhile, I can start like working by myself on it.
Cool. Since it's going to take up to 7 days, why don't we leave that one out of the sprint, because we're not sure we're going to be able to commit to it. And if it does get done, that's great too.
No, I mean, like, I can work on it before it's approved. It's going to take 7 days for everyone to be able to contribute with it, but then I created with the TEC email account, so anyone that has access to that account can collaborate to it, and I mean, anyone who wants can do it now, so we can start.
Okay, so pull it in to the sprint. We want to get started on the Git book.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. And governance in the TEC, is that one for sprint?
I think that's something Jess is working on, that I still have to review to like get into it, but I hope to do in the sprint. Yeah.
I think that one should be blocked by we're upgrading to disputable voting, and a lot of the still questioned.
Well,
so.
I don't know if it needs to be blocked. The point of the article, I think it's okay. Where it's at, Livia and Tamara, is I scaffolded an article about the governance in the TEC. Some of it will be changing because of Celeste. So I wanted to actually ask you, Griff, or I have a call with Sam anyway next week, so I was going to talk to him a little bit to explain me more about it. I think it doesn't need to be in this sprint. I do think we could write the article without knowing about Celeste. I think it's a really interesting and important piece for people to understand that governance isn't one thing, and we can say a few of the things that we are and have been doing. But yeah, I agree. I mean, it doesn't have to go in this sprint, but I think it is interesting and important for people to know how our governance is or is going to work. But we can hold off on it. Olivia, do you have any thoughts? Yeah.
I think it's an interesting thing to work on for sure. And if we can move to the backlog and do it like at a slower pace, that sounds really good.
Scaffolded, it's there, and then we can flesh it out a little more later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds great. Cool. Okay. And then Liv, anything with the principle 1 and 2 or principle 5? Should any of these be pulled in to this sprint? Or
the 1 and 2 are basically like the end of by finalizing the code of conduct or terms and conditions, or
got it. Okay.
That is those are the rules and boundaries that are 1 and 2.
Okay, I didn't realize that actually. Thank you for clarifying that for me. So do you think this proposed written agreement goes into the next sprint after the terms and conditions have all been finalized? Or do we put it into this sprint?
Hopefully it would be by the end of this sprint, because it's not going to be extra work. It's just going to be like submitting the work we're going to finalize as a proposal.
Okay. Okay, and what about 5? Mutual accountability methods?
I feel like that already started with the work that Gravity is doing and Transparency is doing. So maybe I just need to coordinate more with, and we can expand probably having some type of like call or like collaborative session to expand them.
Okay. May I propose we leave it in the product? And if if you are inspired to work on it and you work on it, we can move along if it makes sense. But we don't commit to finishing it in the sprint. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. All right, now I think I didn't miss anybody. I'm just gonna have a quick look to make sure there's nothing that we missed from that's tagged next sprint. Griff, can you put your eyes on these as well, please? Because I know you have.
Absolutely.
You. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything in next sprint that we want to pull in. I mean, that's tagged next sprint that we want to put in. Refine website content for homepage. Is that something that's coming to this sprint?
Oh, yes. Thank you. We're working on it. We had a meeting, Jake and me and Marco. And that is the first thing. After I finish the Y piece, this is the next priority for me for the beginning of next week, because I don't want Marco to be that's like a block for Marco. So Jake and I are working on it.
Cool. And Livy, I think this is something that came. Sorry, did you want to finish?
Sorry, I have a delay. I was just saying it's in progress.
Okay. And Livy, I think we talked about in the retrospect making the onboarding sessions a priority. Do you think this is something we can take on the sprint?
Yeah, we can put in the sprint. It was there. I forgot.
Okay, cool. Eduardo, onboarding hatchers, sprint 1. This is done, but we should have some onboarding hatchers, sprint 2. Probably aside from the work that from the commitment that Griff has made, right? Eduardo might not be here anymore, actually. Oh, crap. Okay. I'll have to make a note to look at that with him.
What's the, hey, Livia, what's create dandelion voting template?
That's for the proposal, because now we have those different sections for proposals. Actually, I have to create 2 more. That is a template for conviction vote. Changing the template from the main proposal place to the subcategory, and having a dandelion template, conviction template, foreign template.
Cool. Okay. Oh, now I think I remember. This is part of the code of conduct?
No, this is just for the proposal section. When someone is submitting a proposal, then they click new topic and then the template comes up. Then now, because we changed for different subcategories, not all of them have the templates coming up. And we thought, Jess, Sim, and I, that dandelion needed a different template than the conviction voting one.
Yeah, it does for sure. When you are happy with it, I guess just pass it to me. Is it something that goes in the sprint, or is it not for the sprint?
Yeah, that's for the sprint.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I think I put the tag on it.
Yeah. Where did it just go? Sorry. Let's finish that.
I'll move to the back one.
Cool. Okay, so we're done. Awesome. What we need now is our sprint goal. So what should be our rallying cry for this sprint? I don't know if anyone has any suggestions.
I'm really excited about getting the vote out, for making it possible for people to. I don't know what the goal around it, but that's going to be huge. But I don't know how to make it encompass.
That's a great question, actually, and that's a great idea.
Well, when I see that chart that that represents the formula that Sam created and that YGG represented with the the params and everything today on the Python, I would love to reach the pinnacle. So to me, the word would be reaching the pinnacle.
I think it depends, Griff. I mean, it could be like a whole TE Academy research group or something around this. I mean, like similarly, for an example, what we just spun up with YGG TE Academy Block Science is like they're looking at the Gitcoin CAD model, and there's a coding group that's actually working to expand on the model for the coding, and then there's an academics group who is discussing it, and maybe there will be some documentation coming out of it. Yes, this could become a whole huge thing. So I think, what are you asking for? Just like feedback on resources or what it could become or outcome, or obviously it's, it doesn't fit in our sprints and it's not critical to hatch, but its potential is huge.
We're looking for a rallying cry. Like what's our goal for the TEC stewards? Like what's our chant? What's our motivating chant for this sprint?
We're gonna
sorry.
highlight
I thought you were
YGG,
talking about something else.
and with YGG, we're gonna say you gotta go, and that's gonna be our rally cry.
This is YGG. YGG.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Okay, maybe something like just closer to hatch.
How about
Um,
something about the egg? Like we're gonna have like shaking the egg. I don't know.
Oh, I like it.
Egg shaking.
Although sitting on the egg is what comes to mind.
Cracking
Yeah,
the
don't shake
shell.
the
Cracking the shell. I don't know.
Oh, I should
Incubating.
really come up with better ideas.
Incubating. Chicken getting
Okay.
hot hen.
Well, I don't know. I'm stuck. So, we come up with one later. Because I don't want to spend the last 15 minutes on this call we're trying to figure out our rallying cry for this hatch. I think maybe it'd be better if people can have these 15 minutes before their next meeting. So send suggestions to TEC stewards, and we can figure it out there. Sound good? And I'd like to show you a brand new milestone. So offboarding process for working group. Wait a minute, sorry. Juan Carlos, is this in Sprint 2 for you? This is in this sprint?
No, I thought I was going to be able to make it sprint, but then I looked and maybe it was too much, so I just put it back.
Cool, excellent. So this is our sprint. We are ready. Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody, for your patience and for all the effort that you bring to this project. It's very. If there's anything that anybody wants to discuss around this planning, we can discuss it now, or we can all leave and have 15 minutes before our next call.
I just want to mention that I might be a little more difficult to schedule this week. I'm like working 60% or 70% of my normal hours.
Good to know.
Which is like 50 hours instead of 80 hours.
If you ask Lorelai, absolutely.
All right. Thanks for coming, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.